So before we continue our content, I want to remind you what is accounting we've mentioned last 2 weeks, right? So it's on your slide, page 14. What is accounting? Anyone remember what is accounting? Use this slide, we could explain what is accounting. Do you know? Accounting is, we want to let you know Apple is good or bad Apple, right? So we are outsiders. We don't know Apple is good or bad. So what could we do? We need accounting because accounting will help us to figure out Apple is good or bad for each year, okay? So how accounting could do that? We use 3 activities to do that. First is what? Identify, right? So what does it mean, identify? We find out what happened inside the company, right? So we find out what happened inside the company, especially for money, and money, right? So the things happened about the money, what we call economic event transactions, right? So first, identify means we find out economic event, okay? Also, we can call it transactions. So after we find out economic event transactions, what's our second step? Recall, right? But you should understand, for companies, we have million transactions happened. How could we recall it? That's why we need accounting skills. That's why we need to follow so many rules. Try to make it systematic. Okay? So second step, recall means we have to use accounting methods, accounting skills to recall all the transactions. After that, our third final step activity is what? Communicate, right? So what does it mean? We provide useful financial information to users. We tell users, see, this is Apple. You could make your own decision to find out it's good or bad Apple, right? So we provide information to anyone. So this communicate. In order to do that, we have to produce only one accounting product. What's that? 4 financial statements, right? Okay. So what are these 4 financial statements? Statement of comprehensive income, 综合损益表. Statement of changing equity, 股东权益变动表. Statement of financial positions, 财务状况表. Also balance sheet, 资产负债表. Last one, statement of cash flow, 现金流量表. Okay, so what is accounting? This is accounting. In order to tell you it's good or bad apples, accounting will do 3 activities: identify, record, communicate. In the end, provide 4 financial statements to everyone. So you can read these financial statements to figure out it's good or bad apples. Okay? So that's it. This what is accounting. Also, we mentioned this last 2 weeks. So right now, we want to see, since you understand what is accounting. So today, we are going to tell you basic accounting terms, basic accounting concepts. You should understand these concepts in order to do 3 activities. Okay? So go to your slide, page 26. Slide page 26. If you use your textbook, it's page 12. Okay? In order to do 3 accounting activities, first basic concept you should understand is accounting, we have only one formula, only one. What's that? Assets is liabilities plus equities. Okay? Assets is liability plus equity. This is the only one accounting formula we have. We use this formula structure. We use this framework to help us what? To help us record and summarize economic event. Okay, so we need these basic accounting formulas to help us do accounting jobs. Okay, accounting jobs is what? We try to record economic event. Remember transactions. Okay, so what is assets? 资产, right? What is liabilities? 负债. What is equity? 股东权益. So assets tell you what you have, okay? What you own, what you have. So this is assets. Assets tell you what your company had, what your company owned, okay? So what is liabilities and equity? Liabilities and equity told you what your company owes, okay? In other words, remember, at the first time we've mentioned, if your company need the money, where you could find out the money is two ways, right? Where we can find out the money? Borrow money from bank creditors, right? What's the second way to find out the money? Ask investors invest in your company, right? Okay, so we have two ways, nothing for free. For your company, when your company has something, so this is what you owns, means what you have, right? So when you start from zero, how could you get the assets? At the beginning, you should try to find out the money you need, right? So where we could find out the money we need? First way, liabilities means what? Borrow money from bank creditor, right? Okay, so first way, when you try to have assets, find out the money first way, borrow money from bank creditors. This is the first way you could find out the money. What's the second way? Ask investors invest in your company, right? So you can find out the money you need. So equity told you about the investors. Okay? So that's why this is our accounting formula. It makes sense, right? When you want to have something on something, you should try to get the money first. First way, borrow money from the bank creditors. That's why we have liabilities. Second way, ask investors investing in your company. So investors will become your shareholders. That's why equity, we talk about shareholders. Okay? No problem? Okay. So we'll give you some numbers to prove this formula. Always assets is liabilities plus equities, always. For example, today you want to start up a new company. So start from zero, right? But still, you need some tables, you need some desk, you need some computers, you need some office, you need something to help your company do something, do the business, right? So when you need something, chairs, computer, car, some pencil, paper, scissors, anything, you know, you want to get that, you need the money. So don't forget, first way is what? You lend the money, you borrow money from creditor, right? So creditor decide, okay, I lend you some money, but nothing for free. Creditors give you money. You should give back to creditors what? For example, creditors told you, okay, I lend you some money, like $80. So creditors decide to give you money $80, but nothing for free. You should give them something. What's that? You promise. You will promise what? I promise you. Thank you. Lend me money $80. I promise you. I will what? Yeah, I will pay back the money after 2 months plus interest, right? So that's your promise. So don't forget, nothing for free. So you should give them your promise. So what's your promise? Pay back $80 plus interest, 利息. Okay? But you find out $80 is not enough. Why? Because you need $100 to buy all the stuff. So it means you need $20 more. So what should we do? Go to investors, right? To ask investors whether investors are willing give you $20. Okay? So you asked investors, give me $20. So shareholders think, okay, you are a good company. I decide to invest it in your company. So they invested $20 in your company. Okay, $20. Still, nothing for free. Investor shareholders invested $20 in your company. You should give them something back, right? So, what's that? Ownership, right? Because investors, when they invest in your company, they become your shareholders' owners. Okay, so they are the company's owners. So it means you should give them ownership. Means what? You tell them, okay, right now the company belongs to them. They are their companies. So you should give them ownership. Ownership means shareholders own the company. Okay? Any questions? So did you find out when you need $100 for assets, you should get $80 from creditors, $20 from equity shareholders. So in this case, if case 1, you have assets $100. Based on this case, you know $80 from creditors. So this is your liability. $20 you got the money from shareholders. Okay? What if another case? Well, case 2. Still, you have asset $100. But when you try to borrow money from bank, the bank think, okay, I don't trust you. I don't believe your company could pay the money back. So they are not willing to lend you $80. They told you the money they will give you only $30. So what does it mean? You still need $70. So you will go to investors to see if investors will invest you $70, right? Okay. So you will get $70 from investors. Okay? Any questions? So that's why assets always equal to liabilities plus equity. You need total monies from creditors or from investors. Okay? Any questions? No problem? Too easy? Okay, if we understand this formula, so we go to each item's definition. So first one, we look at assets. So what's assets? What you have, what you own, right? Like a chair, desk, car, your calculator, your pencils, your scissors, so on. So what's assets? Your company's resources. The resources your company have, right? Okay, so there's assets. So assets, remember, definition is very, very important. Definition will define what it is. Okay, so what this stuff is in accounting depends on definition. So definition will tell you is car or is products, is equipment machine or is products. Okay? So assets is our company's resources. So what's liabilities? Liability means we borrow money from creditors, right? So you should give them what? Your promises. Okay? Promises, could you refuse to do your promises, to keep your promises? You cannot. Promises means what? No matter what, you have to do that in the future. Okay? So liabilities, that's your obligations. 责任义务. Obligations means what? No matter what, you have to do that. Okay? You cannot refuse to keep your promises. So obligations means you have to keep your promise. Okay? Liabilities means you owe creditors money. But don't forget, when you owe them money, you give them your promises, right? So you have the obligations to keep your promises. You have the obligations to pay the money back in the future, no matter what. Okay? So you owe money to creditors. So that's liabilities. Don't forget, you owe someone something. That's why you have the obligation, you have the liabilities. In the future, you have to do something to keep your promises. So what's the equity? We talk about investors, right? We talk about shareholders when they invest in your company. Okay, so equity told you shareholders' right inside the company, tell you shareholders' ownership for this company. how much money belong to shareholders. Okay, so this is equity. Told you. Shareholders' right. In the company. Shareholders' right in the company. 股东在公司的权利有多少 ？OK? For the company, not everything belongs to the shareholders, right? Don't forget, some part of the company is not shareholders. Is whose? For the whole company, some part not belong to shareholders. Don't forget. For the whole companies, don't forget. Liabilities means what? You still owe some money to creditors. Okay? So equity, we told you how much money belong to equity shareholders. Okay? Elaine, any questions? No? Any questions? No problem? Okay. So for assets, this so far right now is a rough concept. So for assets, we give you more detail for defined a definition. Okay. Even though right now we told you assets is the resources your company have, right? So what resources for? When you have the resources, you are going to use the resources to what? To help you, right? Do something. So you can get some benefits from the resources, right? Like what? Car, computer. Computer is your assets, is your resources. Why you said computer is your resources, is your assets? Why? Why? Because computers could help you do something, right? You can use the computers to finish your homework. You can use the computers to do what? To do your part-time job, make some money, right? You can use your motorcycle, your scooter to do what? To do the Uber Eats job, make some money, right? So when we talk about assets, resources, it means they will help you do something. They will give you some benefits, okay? Remember, accounting finance, when we told you benefits is about money, money, and the money, right? So this benefit is economic benefits. What is assets? Assets are the resources you have. They will help you to get some economic benefits. Remember, economy means money, money, and the money. That's the key point. When we talk about, oh, that's my assets, oh, that's my resources. Why? Because they will help you to get some benefits, especially for money. Okay? So what does it mean? Economic benefit. Money, money, and money. So assets will help you to get cash inflows. So you will receive, you will get the cash in the future. That's the point, right? You study here for what? Make more money in the future, right? Company do the business for what? Get more money back. So no matter what we are going to do, most of us for money. So that's why eventually we want to get the cash money in the future. So resources means they will, assets means they will provide you future economic benefit. In the future, you will get some cash, receive some cash because of assets. Okay? Definition very important. So please understand the concept, but you don't need to memorize each word. You don't need to do that. You just understand, remember the key words. So what's the key word? Resources. So when we talk about what is assets, 什么是资产? What is assets? Elaine. Resources. But what is resources? So when we talk about what is assets, resources help you to get future economic benefit, help you to get the cash in the future. Okay? For example, you use computer to do the part-time job. Eventually, maybe next month, you will get some money, right? So that's your assets. Okay? Any questions so far? No? So for assets, you have so many different kind of assets. The same as the companies. Company have so many different kind of assets. Today we will tell you 4 kind of assets. So far, 4 basic assets. First is what? Cash, right? So first asset is cash. You can use the cash to get more cash, right? Use the cash to make more money. So cash is your first asset. No problem. What's the second one? Totally new for you guys. Accounts receivable, 应收账款. Accounts receivable, 应收账款 is the second very important assets we have. So what does it mean? Accounts receivables, 应收账款. When you do the business with customers, for example, Apple company sold iPhone 16 to customers, right? Okay. So for example, this is Apple. Do the business with the customer. So what kind of business? Sold iPhone 16. Okay, to whom? Customers. How much? If I told you selling price is 100. Okay? So Apple, you gave iPhone 16 to customers. What did you get? Money. Okay? So customer will give you the money. Give money. So for your company, you will get what? Money, right? Cash. $100. Okay? No problem? But in real world, most of business, they won't pay the cash today. Because only us, only you guys, you have only cash. You don't have a credit card, right? So you do anything is money. You said that. For the real world, most of cases, when company do business, they won't pay the money, pay the cash today. They won't. They will pay the money later, like 2 months later or 3 months later. So customer, pay the cash. This is the first case. So case 1. Another case, more common case, is customer told your company. Customer give you oral promise. 口头承诺。So they give you oral promise. What's that? Customer promise you. They told you, I will give you money after 2 months. Don't you trust me? I'm your customer. So you have to accept that. Why is that? In order to sell the product to customers, in order to do the business with customers, you have to accept their oral promise. Otherwise, customer will go to another company to do business with another company. Okay? So second case, you didn't get the money. You got what? Oral promise, right? Okay. So second case, you will get oral promise. You got oral promise from customers. Okay? So in real world, second case is more normal common than case one. Okay? So you got oral promises from customers. Customers promise you they will pay the money back after 2 months, for example. Will pay you money in the future. Okay? So for case two, your company got oral promises from customers. For this case, we call it accounts receivables, 应收账款. Second case, for this situation, we call it accounts receivables. Okay? Accounting, we try to use two words, accounts receivables, to describe the whole transaction. So right now, you should understand when we talk about accounts receivable, what happened? What happened? Claire, what happened? When we discuss, hey, today our company have one accounts receivables. What happened? It's not complete transaction. Whole story. What happened? This is the whole transaction, whole story. What happened? Claire, what happened? Whole story. Your company? What happened to you? Accounts receivable. Accounts receivable. The whole story is what? Your company sold products to customers, but customers didn't pay you money, only give you oral promise, will pay you money back in the future. This is the whole story. We use two words to describe the whole story. So what happened? Accounts receivable, what happened? Your company sold products to customers, but customers didn't pay the money today. They only give you oral promises. They promise you to pay the money in the future. This is the whole story. And we use two words, accounts receivable, to describe the whole stories. Okay? Any questions? So that's why from today, from now on, you will learn so many different terms. Why? Because accounting, we have to summarize million transactions, right, into full financial statements. How could we do that? We have to make everything simplified. So how? Two words to describe the whole sentence, the whole stories. Okay? Any questions? So there's accounts receivables. Why accounts receivables is our assets? Why? Remind you again, definition. What is assets? Resources will provide future economic benefit to your companies. Means what? They will make your company get the cash in the futures. That's assets. Okay? Accounts receivables, 应收账款. Why? That's your assets. You got the oral promises. This is our resources. Will help you get the cash in the future? Yes, right? Why? Because in the future, after 2 or 3 months, you will get the cash from customers, right? So will you get the economic benefit? Yes. So that's your assets. Any questions? No problem? Okay, there's accounts receivables. Let's look at the third one. Before third one. So what is accounts receivables? Your company, you gather economic resources. Did you find out? Economy, money, money, and money. You gather economic resources. Why? When you sell the product, provide the service. So it means what? You do the business with customers. Okay? So sell the products, provide the services. Sell products, provide the service. Okay? Sell the products, provide the services to whom? Customers. Did you get the money? No, you didn't get the money. Why? Here, please remember, you will find out these terms quite often. On the account, on credit means you didn't get the cash. Okay? You didn't get the cash means what? You got oral promises only. On the account means on credit means 记在账上 means didn't get the cash. Okay, so means what? The case 2 we've mentioned. Got oral promise. Okay? No problem? Okay. So that's the whole story. You do the business, you sell the products to customers. But you didn't get the cash. You got oral promises from customers. That's our accounts receivables. Okay? Third one, supplies 办公用品设备. Like what? Like pens, pencils, like papers, scissors, like erasers, like small stuff you have right now, like what Elaine have on her hand. All the things, that's your supplies, 办公用品设备. Okay, no problem. I think so. Last one we mentioned today is equipment, 设备. So what is equipment? Buildings, land, machine, car, scooter, motorcycle. Okay, this equipment. Maybe you are asked, so what's the difference between supplies and equipment? It's quite similar for these two categories. So that's why usually we use the amount money to differentiate is your supplies or is equipment. We use the money, the amount to define the assets you have is supplies or is equipment. Okay, so did you find out small amount of money or large amount of money? So this is how we define this is your supplies or your equipment. Okay. For our school, we use the amount is NT dollars, $10,000. If you buy the printers, do you know the printer? 印表机? If you buy the printers, the money above $10,000, our school will define it as equipment. But when you buy the printers, the amount below $10,000, we will define it as supplies. So did you find out how to define that's your supplies or your equipment? Depends on the money, okay, in our school. So if the printers, for example, printers with the amount below lower than $10,000. This supplies. If you buy the printers, the amount above $10,000, we call it equipment. Okay? That's why I mentioned definition is very important. Definition will define is supplies or is equipment, even though both of them are printers. Okay? So please remember definitions. Definition will define what it is. But no need to memorize each word. You just memorize, remember the key words. Okay? Any questions? No problem? Yes. You mean these two? Usual, yeah. Cannot say each company, but yes, yeah, I can say that because our school maybe $10,000, but I heard some like my brother company they use different amounts. Maybe not exactly the same, but will have a slight different. Yeah. So even though for the government, this amount how to define will be different. So that's why I mentioned in our school use $10,000. But maybe in different countries still have different rules. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? No problem. Okay. Remember 4 assets: cash, accounts receivables, supplies, equipment. No problem. Then let's look at next one, liabilities. So liabilities, we mean what? You borrow money from creditors, right? So you have what? Don't forget, you have obligations to do what? To keep your promises, right? So what's your promises? Pay the money back in the future, okay? So pay the money back in the future. That's your promises. So in the future, you have the obligation, 责任义务. What's your obligation? 责任义务 means keep your promise. Okay? Your promises is what? Pay the money back in the future. When you keep the promises, pay the money back in the future, that will make your cash decrease, right? So, did you find out? That will make your cash decrease means your economic benefit outflows, right? Economic benefit outflow means you have to pay the money back to creditors. That will make your money decrease. If you still remember, economic benefit means cash, right? So you will have cash outflows. 现金流出 means cash decrease. Because you had to pay the cash. Okay, so what's your liability? Liability is you owe someone something today. Maybe you owe them money. Maybe you owe them computers. Maybe you owe them iPhone, anything. But in the future, you have to pay back, right? So when you pay back something in the future, that will make your economic benefit outflow. That will make you cash outflows, right? Okay. So don't forget, not only today, obligation means keep the promise in the future. So they will make your cash outflow in the future. Any questions? No? Should we take a break? Yes. Okay, take a break. Then come back, we talk about 4 kind of liabilities we have.